Happy Friday the 13th, horror fans! Today is the first of 3 Friday the 13ths that are falling in the year of our Lord 2026, so hopefully you can expect even more Friday videos in your pipeline for the rest of the coming year. For this particular video, I'm going to be finishing off my series ranking the kills in the first 4 Friday movies. From part 5 onwards, the kills start to get to an excessive amount, which, don't get me wrong, I love, but it does get a bit difficult to rank them when there's so many kills in each movie going forward. So I don't currently intend to rank the rest of the series kills, but maybe I will one day get around to it when I run out of ideas. For anyone keeping track, it may have seemed that I skipped part 3 because there is not a Friday the 13th part 3 kills ranking video on my channel. The truth is that I made and even uploaded a part 3 video for last year's Friday the 13th, but I spliced in too much nudity and it got banned from YouTube and you can't see it. Anyway, Friday the 13th part 4, the final chapter. Part 3 ended with Jason seemingly dead, an axe embedded halfway in his skull, but Jason just gets up and walks that shit off like nobody's business. He escapes from the county morgue and returns to Crystal Lake, where he comes across a group of hard-partying teens who've rented a house for the weekend, as well as the family who lives next door. Typical Friday the 13th carnage ensues. Paramount planned to end the series with this one, even bringing back original makeup effects artist Tom Savini to do the honors. The results are some of the best kills in the entire series. One of the best decisions the final chapter made was introducing the Jarvis family. Not just because having a family unit in the center of the drama heightens the stakes for the first time in the series, but also because Tommy Jarvis would go on to be one of the franchise's best loved characters, and the closest that Jason comes to having an arch nemesis. A major part of Tommy's obsessive determination to destroy Jason is the fact that Jason killed his mother, the lovely Mrs. Jarvis. Unfortunately, this takes place entirely off screen, and we don't even get a hint as to what happened to her. What, did he jump up and startle her to death? We don't get a shot of a knife in Jason's hand, a shadowy silhouette, even a body shown later on. Nothing! Now, Mrs. Jarvis' corpse was going to be in the movie, appearing in a deleted scene, but even then it was intended to only be a dream sequence, and it still doesn't really tell us anything about how she died. A totally off-screen kill such as this would end up at the bottom of the rankings anyway, but the fact that this is such an important moment in the backstory of one of the series' most important characters just adds insult to injury. Terry, one of a pair of skinny-dipping twin sisters who joins the party next door, shows us how it's done. See? Now that's much better. It's totally clear to us what happened to her even before Jason lobs her body right up against the window. Rob Dyer's death is supposed to be disturbing, but it comes off as more unintentionally funny than anything else. Jason drags him into the basement and beats his ass with a garden claw, all the while Rob screams at the top of his voice. It's so amusing I'm tempted to bump it a spot higher, but it's also so poorly lit that you can hardly see anything that's supposed to be happening in this scene. Good thing we have Rob on hand to explain it to us. By the way, Rob was only in town to get revenge on Jason for killing his sister, Sandra, from part 2. But these movies take place only a few days apart, so goddamn did the Dyer family have one bad week that week. God bless Samantha, who is absolutely determined to be naked for at least 60% of her weekend, even if it means going skinny dipping in what must be freezing cold lake water. She swims out to this random raft and just lies on it for a while. Kinda boring, until Jason pops up and shanks her. Which is also a little boring if I'm being honest. I've always thought her facial expression was hilarious in this scene though. Per Nurse Morgan is one of Jason's most unnecessary victims ever. I mean, I guess they're all unnecessary, but you know what I mean. Like, usually he kills people intruding upon his sacred domain of Camp Crystal Lake, but Nurse Morgan wasn't intruding anywhere. In fact, she was in a completely different room at the hospital when he woke up and escaped. If he wanted to leave, he could have just walked out. It wasn't needed at all for him to enter the room she was in, but enter it he did, and the world has one less nurse in it as a result.
Leave me alone!
Stabbing a nurse with a scalpel in a hospital is pretty straightforward stuff, but I like the added detail that he really guts her open as well, like a fucking fish. Jason's so mean in this movie, I love it. All this poor, unnamed hitchhiker wanted to do was catch a free ride and eat a banana. I've seen a movie where a girl had to eat a banana in exchange for a free ride, but I don't think I could show clips of it on YouTube. Doesn't she know hitchhiking can be dangerous? Jason better remind her. The chewed up banana drooling from her mouth is more gross than the knife through her throat. According to the Friday the 13th wiki, she's the only character in the series to die with food in her mouth. Well, now that's a distinction she can take to her grave. After striking out with pretty much every girl at the party, Ted's only option seems to be to get high and watch old-timey porn on this big projector screen. Hey, I wonder if he has that one hitchhiking movie I was talking about. Jason knows the damage developing a gooning addiction can do to a young man and puts Ted out of his misery quickly. Sarah came to Crystal Lake to lose her virginity to Doug and ends up losing her life to Jason. She did lose her virginity first though, so it's not all bad. And that's certainly a hell of a lot better than losing it afterwards. Jason throws an axe through the door and nails her right in the chest. Now that's good aim. I hope Doug's aim was even half as good, though they were in the shower, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, Doug's still cleaning up a few details when Jason pops by for a visit. How long has this guy been in the shower? Won't his fingers start to prune? And never mind what his ballsack looks like.
Hey, Paulie. Whoops. Dropped my bar of softballs, buddy. Must get in here with the old pal.
What the fuck? That kind of talk simply won't fly in Ronald Reagan's America, I'm afraid, so Jason gives him what for. Man, how strong is Jason? Remember, at this point in the series, he was supposed to be just an intellectually disabled hillbilly. He hadn't yet been resurrected through lightning superpowers. Where does all that strength come from? What does he eat? Paul leaves the party to find his girlfriend Samantha, knowing that she's probably running around in the woods somewhere with her boobs out. And he was right! What he didn't know was that she'd be dead. Paul tries to swim for it, but doesn't count on Jason hiding under the water. Just how long was our guy waiting down there? Long enough to be in the perfect position to stab Paul in the crotch with a spear gun. Youch! Jimbo nails Tina while Jason nails her sister. Twins are known to have an exceptionally close bond, and it is not uncommon for one to pass away and the other to pass away very soon thereafter. Jason makes sure that holds true when he yeets Tina right out the fucking window. I've always loved how rather than sneaking up behind her and simply pushing her out the window, Jason climbs up the wall on the outside and literally pulls her out through the glass. That's so extra. And the fact that she crash lands on the car below in beautiful slow motion is just extra. Read all about it. Jimbo wins the award for Best Dancer in a Friday the 13th movie. Damn, look at that white boy go. Jason gets jealous that Jimbo is the star of the show and decides to cut him down to size.
Ted! Hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?
Gotta love that Jason has a sense of humor. What a cheeky scamp he is. Then he finishes him off with a meat cleaver to the face. It's cool that Jason could have just killed him with the meat cleaver straight away. I mean, it's not like Jimbo was expecting him to jump out or anything, so he wasn't really in any position to defend himself. So the additional move of Jason stabbing him with the corkscrew was really just Jason being a dick for the sheer hell of it. A cheeky scamp indeed. Axel is the kind of guy to watch weird aerobics porn while surrounded by dead bodies. Making him somehow an even bigger creep than Jason. But Jason doesn't take kindly to competition. Stay out of my territory. Much like Jimbo's death, this one is total overkill. There was no way Axel was surviving that gnarly hacksaw to the neck. But Jason has to go and give him the exorcist treatment just to make sure he's really dead. I mean really dead. This is also the first kill of the movie, and with it, the final chapter announces that this is going to be the most balls-to-the-wall movie of the franchise up to this point. Axel's death is the best kill committed by Jason in the final chapter. But the best kill in the final chapter is Jason himself. Since this was supposed to be the series' big send-off, the decision was made to take Jason down in style. The whole reason Tom Savini agreed to work on the film was so that he could kill off his most famous creation himself. One of the best final chase scenes in horror history culminates in a brutal showdown in the Jarvis house between Jason and Trish. And it seems Trish is done for until her kid brother Tommy intervenes. Yeah, the little weirdo shaved his head to look like a younger Jason. What What was his plan here? Why did he think that this would have any effect on Jason? What's even stranger is that it does have an effect on Jason, who gets distracted long enough for Trish to deliver the mother of all unmaskings. Yeah. But in the end, it's Tommy who delivers the final blow. One hell of a final blow. The machete to the face is already pretty awesome with all the blood that comes spilling out, but the fact that he falls face first onto it and slides all the way down the blade is just the icing on the cake. And the facial twitching is like the cherry on top of the icing. Not only is this the best kill in the final chapter, it's hands down Jason's greatest ever defeat, and for my money, Tom Savini's masterpiece. Oh, that just never gets old. That's all from me for now, but I'll be back again on the next Friday the 13th, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for all the latest schlock horror happenings. Stay spooky, I'll see you then.